Since the close of the school year in 2014, there were some rumblings at the Faith Nazarene Primary School in San Ignacio Town, Cayo District, regarding the attitude and lack of professionalism from the school's principal, Policarpia Pech. Another school year came and went on, and Pech remained in the position and the rumblings continued. But parents who are heading the objections and criticisms made against the principal seem adamant in not having Pech serve another term at the school. They have come together and they have expressed their discontent, and to reiterate just how upset they are, they have taken the bold move to keep their children out of classes. Love News spoke with the general manager of Faith Nazarene Primary School, Raymond Shepard, who explained that the efforts were made to address issues, and a letter was sent to the Teaching Services Commission for the demotion of Pech, in which she would be placed back in the classroom. That request, however, came with some concerns that the school would have to respond to the commission.
Commission wrote back to us expressing certain concerns and for us to satisfy those concerns. And so we at this time are in the process of satisfying the concerns raised by the commission. Now, the teachers and the parents were expecting that we would have gotten a decision from the commission sometime during the summer holidays, and wherein that did not happen, they decided to take certain action on their own. And so that brings us to where we are today.
But just what exactly could have made this situation escalate to this, and how awful could her attitude have been? Shepard told us what some of the allegations being made by the parents are.
Just to comment on a few comments that they have made in my presence. They have made certain allegations of abuse towards their children, physical and verbal abuse. And so, because of the period of time which they are claiming they have had to endure this kind of abuse, they no longer want the principal to be in charge of the school. Now, and so that is where we are today, where there is a standoff. We as management have intervened and tried to bring calm to the situation, but unfortunately, the parents in particular are bent on maintaining their stance that unless the principal is removed, that they are not going to send their children back to school. So that's where we are.
While the Ministry of Education, in a release today, noted that there is a need for improvements in school management when it comes to addressing complaints of this nature almost immediately. But according to Shepard, he has only been at the helm of the Faith Nazarene Primary School for only one school year, and he is unaware of any reports or complaints made prior to his taking over. He did, however, note that once the allegations had begun surfacing under his management, Pech was approached on the matter.
I'm not aware of any complaints made prior to my taking over the management of the school, which I did about a year ago. So it is within this period of time, within the last school year, that things started to surface. And so we launched the investigation and came upon these different allegations. Well, yes, indeed, you're correct. We have sat with her. We have brought to her attention all the allegations that have been made against her, and provided her with an opportunity to, one, respond to them in writing, and also to respond to them in a formal setting where we had all the teachers at a meeting, and the principal, along with members of my education board. We all sat down and we went through all the allegations one by one and afforded everybody an opportunity to speak on those particular issues. And so those measures have already been done.
The matter was taken to the Teaching Service Commission, and in turn they were asked to address some matters. Shepard explained how things have evolved since then.
Well, there are two separate issues here, Renee. One is that the matter of our submission to the commission and their bringing to our attention mentioned certain concerns that they have is, and which we are trying to satisfy. Actually, we just had a meeting today and have reviewed what the concerns are and how we are going to approach satisfying those concerns. When those go back to the commission, then of course it is completely out of our hands. The commission will, in its own time, meet and decide on what we have submitted. Now, as far as the long leave application is concerned, that came out of the several meetings which the management has had with the principal and the teachers, wherein the principal herself feels that she no longer wants to remain the principal of the school, and in the best interest of the students, have decided that she would like to go on long leave. She does qualify for long leave, and thereafter or during that time, we would work on getting a transfer for her. Bear in mind that the transfer will take place within our own management. And I must add that, in fact, I have confirmed that we have 3 potential spaces that we can transfer her to. So the matter of an internal transfer is not difficult for us at all. We can accommodate, and we have accommodated the request. And so, based on that discussion, based on that agreement, we proceeded to, the principal proceeded to fill out the application form. We, as management, recommended and submitted thereafter to the commission. The commission has responded to say that they are not able to approve the transfer for several reasons. One of them being that a transfer request can only take place within certain time limits. And because it's outside of those limits, they have no authority to approve it. And so this is where we are, wherein we are still at a place where the principal wants to leave, but we have not gotten the requisite approval for that to happen.
Until those concerns are addressed and the Teaching Services Commission responds, things will be at a standstill.
Let me clarify one point here. The Teaching Services Commission has not denied a transfer. The Teaching Services Commission has denied the long leave application. The matter of transfer would have happened thereafter. So this is something that we would have managed separately from the long leave application. Now, where do we go from here? Well, at this time, we are exploring, all options. One of them being that we must satisfy the concerns raised by the Teaching Services Commission. We do have the points which we intend to provide the Commission with, and thereafter, the Commission then will, I believe, deal with the submission that is before them and make their decision as to what the future of the principal is. Until that happens, then I don't know. I guess we just continue to try to mediate the situation, appeal to parents to send their children to school. We also have put in place a plan that will seek to offer extra classes to those students who have missed out on so much over this past 2 to 3 weeks.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Education, in what seems to be an attempt at easing the tension and upset of the parents, has sent out a release appealing to the parties involved to maintain respect to each other and the current circumstances. The release assures the parents that the ministry recognizes and fully supports the parents' desires for quality education for their children in a conducive learning environment. But on that same token, the ministry's release stated that such rights and desires are not going to be gained through measures that infringe on the rights of others and the respect for due process. The release went to note that the onus is on all parties, including the management, the teachers, and the parents, to follow just processes in order to resolve any grievances they may have, and that those processes are undocumented in the Education and Training Act. And while the ministry is lobbying for peaceful resolutions and discussions, they have also pointed out in the release issued this morning the need for the managing authorities in schools to improve in their supervisory skills in order to prevent situations such as this one and in order to identify issues in time with the objective of addressing and documenting them. It goes to state that parents are to hold schools accountable via the managing authority, and that grievances brought home by the students should be reported and addressed immediately so that the proper systems can be put in place. The situation has seen parents intentionally keeping their children out of the classrooms, and on that note, the ministry reminded parents in the release that by law, their children of mandatory school age must attend school, and that the parents who choose to withhold their children from attending Faith Nazarene Primary School have a legal obligation to find another school for their children to attend. The release, in closing, reiterated the need for all parties to give due process an opportunity to take its course, while stressing on the importance for all those involved to abide by the outcomes of due process even when they may not be the ones they desired.